And vamos por más, eh? That's the shirt.
Vamos
It's
por
Great
on
shirt.
our fan shop. So how much it cost? A little bit of publicity, man. Come on, I'm
Yeah,
selling your product.
listen, he's your pitch man.
Eh?
Did you take the tag off already or what?
This is
Yeah,
incredible.
no, yeah. This is my quote. I'm gonna tell you something. This is my quote. This is my hashtag, and they kind of stole it.
You
Right.
needed to trademark that.
And yes, and I didn't get any single nothing. Not even
No
a shirt.
no
Not
respect.
even a shirt. I had to pay for this,
What's up, everybody? Welcome on into our AT&T 5G virtual studios. This is The Call Up. I am Julian Sakovitz. That is your co-host, Susanna Collins, and we have a double dose of fun for you today. Double dose coming to you from our nation's capital. DC United head coach Hernan Losada and wingback Julian Gressel are coming on the show. We talk so much about both them, but Susanna, I think the big theme I saw in here is Julian Gressel used the word revived for what Losada did for him and did for DC United, who found themselves last year sitting at the bottom of the table, and it's a very different story. They are sitting pretty at sixth place in the Eastern Conference, and they're right in the mix there. You know, they could be in fourth in a couple days.
Yeah.
We will find out. But it's a meaningful episode for a lot of reasons. We talk about Kick Childhood Cancer Month. We discuss with Julian a really special relationship he built with Owen, a 6-year-old who passed away from pediatric cancer during his time with Atlanta. DC plays Atlanta over the weekend. And you said this off cam. Hernan Losada is a guy that you want to play for, right? Just in listening to him.
Honestly, like such good vibes coming from him, and even the Julian Gressel as well. It just seems like there is a really awesome camaraderie and spirit amongst that club right now. There is a huge amount of belief in themselves. Hernan Losada said it. You'll hear it in the interview. You know, he's kind of he didn't expect them to be in this position that they're in right now, but he's excited. They've adopted this sort of underdog mentality, and it's just he's such a positive guy. And yeah, I think that Losada ball, and he kind of explains exactly what that is. That team, that DC United team, has bought into it, and the results are starting to show, and it's paying off. So that could be a really, really fun team to watch in the postseason. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for DC. Time now for our AT&T 5G call to the field. We are so excited to bring in the first-year head coach of DC United, Hernan Losada. Welcome to the call up, Hernan. It is so wonderful to see you.
Thank you very much for having me. Very excited to be in this podcast with both of you.
That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear. Okay, first things first. You reached a pretty epic milestone last week, and your Instagram story kind of broke the internet, at least in the MLS circles. Quickly, let's roll this in and take a look.
So happy. I'm so happy. Just in once I passed the theoretical test for the driver license. I can't believe I did it. Just a few hours studying all these crazy rules from Virginia. Here we go. Let's fly.
Wah, wah.
Okay. So you passed the written portion of the driver's exam, but then you had still yet to take the actual behind the wheel. Can you give us an update? Have you passed both sides yet? Are you an official driver in the United States of America now?
No, not yet. I did an appointment, but I have my driver license from Belgium, so I'm totally legal behind the wheel. But the thing is, I felt that I was not 100% ready for that test, and then I was like so emotional after passing. You have to have 10 out of 10 with the signals, and then are coming 30 questions, and out of the 30 you only can have 6 mistakes, and you don't know the result until you push the button and you say, do you want to check any question? I say, no, I don't want to check anything, just let's go, give me the result. And it say, you pass. And I was like, yes, man, I don't have to come back. just in once. So I got excited, and I did that video, and then I realized, wait a minute, I still have to do the practice. And then it came the picture where I explained, guys, I'm not yet over there, Virginia license, I'm coming, but it was a big step.
Who broke the news to you that, wait, push the brakes a little bit, you passed the written test, but you still got to drive?
Me, after I already posted the video. So it was too late it was too late to delete it. And then I say, okay, let's make it clear. I still don't have it. I still don't make it. I have the Belgian one that I promise you is super hard. And I did it in Dutch, which here I had the possibility to make it in Spanish. So was a bit easier to understand the questions, but we are still not there. I promise to be there very quick before the season ends.
Well, to the call up, you've passed. So
100%.
You have our 100%.
And as somebody who stressed terribly over that written portion of the driver's exam, I applaud you, because that was not an easy test to take. So well done. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's not an easy one, and yeah, it was necessary. So then I realized the impact of sharing something on Instagram. Actually, I really like to see the emotions and the reactions of the fans and the people who follows me. Sometimes I would like to share a lot more than what I'm sharing. And then I realized I'm a public person. I'm the head coach of DC United. I'm not a soccer player anymore like 3 years ago. So I need to be careful, but I really like those kind of reactions and emotions.
We loved it. More of it.
Something that
Keep it coming.
Hernan, your first season as head coach of DC United. Now, if someone had told you that right now, at this point in the season, after 24 weeks of MLS games, your team would be in 6th place with a lot of momentum behind their back, looking to make the postseason, what would your reaction have been?
My reaction would be, you are totally nuts. That's impossible. And tell me, where do I have to sign to make that real? So that would have been my reaction. But of course, when I arrived, everything was new for me. A new league, a new culture, a new team, new teammates, new staff. A lot of new things. After being 15 years in Belgium, you know what kind of stress demands moving all your stuff to a new place, starting from scratch. So it was a big challenge for me, but I really felt like it was the moment, that was the right timing to come. And I was very excited. And I'm a person who really needs to be challenged all the time. Every moment I feel like I did it and I made it. And I felt like in Belgium on that team, I reached the top. I need to move on because I need a new challenge. And DC United came with this new opportunity. I'm very blessed to be here. And I have to be honest with you, I didn't expect to be where we are right now. And now comes the fun part. Now comes the best part, the 11 games to go. And I'm very excited with everything what can come the next couple of weeks.
Oof, I'm so excited.
I know, I'm pumped.
Hernan, you are one of the youngest coaches in MLS, 39 years old. And we really love, like we said, your Instagram, one of the more fashion-forward coaches, perhaps, in Major League Soccer with your style. Who else, what other coaches in MLS do you look at and you say, oh, okay, he does it right? Who's another stylish coach or two in MLS?
Oh, good question. I think the coach from Chicago has a good style.
Oh, Rafa Wicki. Rafa Wicki.
Yes.
You have similar styles, I'd say.
Yes.
Yeah, similar style. I look a lot to the East team. So
Bruce Arena, I'm sure is a name you're forgetting right now.
but Bruce is
Classic.
Bruce can wear whatever he wants.
That's very
He's
true.
a man, and he's in a comfy mode all the time, and I love it. So Bruce is like another level. You can put Bruce in this category. I think Matias Almeida from the West, he's always like, with style. He has sometimes like a pull in his back, and I like Matias also because he's from my country, same roots. But then it's me, I think.
Listen, I don't know if you've heard, Hernan, but Jill and I, and this call up, we have sort of we've dubbed ourselves the official fashion police of Major League Soccer, and you are very high on our list of best dressed coaches. So just so you know, you're doing well. We are big fans of your style on this podcast.
Yeah, and you still didn't see me with a nice pack, with a nice costume. When the winter is coming, new outfits are coming on. So be ready for that.
Well, good news for you is we have our power rankings at the beginning of the year, but we do our official 1 through 10 at the end of the season. So you still have time to secure that top spot. So just keep that in mind.
Keep that
as
in mind
you get ready for the postseason.
You put me under serious pressure now. Now I need to go home and check all my stuff to see what I'm wearing tomorrow.
That's what we're here for. All right, let's talk a little bit about your coaching style, because we have heard this phrase Losada ball kind of throughout MLS, and we knew that when DC hired you, we knew that it was going to be an attacking brand of football, high pressing. But for those people that might not be in the know or not familiar to your style, how would you describe your coaching approach? What is Losada ball?
I'm gonna try to explain this with how I felt when I was young and I was playing on the street with my friends. And we were always playing to see who scores the most goals. The winner was the one scoring the most goals. So since I'm a young kid, I always want to play to win. When we were young, you play to win. You don't to avoid the other team of scoring goals. And that was my philosophy all the time. When I was a player or when I became a coach, I always say to myself, I'm going to put all the energy on seeing how can I score goals, how can I win games, and know how can I avoid the opponent to stop them to score goals. And that's kind of my mentality and the mentality I try to implement here and everywhere where I've been, playing to win, playing vertical, as less passes as possible to reach the half of the opponent, to create scoring opportunities and to make it entertaining to the people. I mean, you have to entertain the fans. The fans are going to watch a game, and when the game is over, they need to go home with the feeling, I want to come back. I want to watch this team play again because it gives me good feelings and a good vibe and good emotions. And soccer is emotions. And I love soccer. Is my passion since I'm very young, and I like to bring that passion to my teams by playing offensive football and see how can we win games by scoring goals and not how we avoid the opponent to score.
Goals.
Goals are good.
That is what the people like to see. And that's also what a lot of the Argentines have brought to Major League Soccer. You know, I work for Atlanta United, and that was kind of their identity for a period of time. It's starting to trickle back. But you mentioned Matias Almeida being a countryman of yours. You were born and raised in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Hispanic Heritage Month is kicking off. We've seen an influx of Argentines coming to MLS. Did you talk to anyone before coming here in particular? What is the perception of MLS, abroad, particularly in South America?
Yeah, I spoke with a lot of people who knew the league from before. I played in Belgium with Frédéric Briand, so he gave me his tips. I also played with Maxime Chanot from NYCFC. And then people who was living here in America gave me also their thoughts about the competition. And look, the feeling everyone has about the league is that it's growing massively, that it's supposed to be, and I'm sure it's going to be one of the top 5 leagues in the world in a very short-term period. When you see the players and the quality of coaches, and the new infrastructure coming on, and the new stadiums and the new facilities that you guys are building here is amazing, and that helps a lot to develop new young players, to develop the academy. When you see the national team, it was the youngest national team ever in a qualification game, the last one against Honduras. So a lot of young talent coming up, and that's going to help the league to improve. So I didn't think twice. All the comments were very positive. And especially in Argentina, more and more games are watched on television, and everyone can follow MLS all over the world. So let's go.
Love it. Let's go. Let's go. Indeed. Hernan, you talked about growing up in Argentina, playing football with your friends, and one of the things that I read about you that really hit home with me as a girl from Chicago. We have something in common, and that is an affinity for Michael Jordan. And I read that you, as a as a kid, would stay up really late to watch the Michael Jordan and the Bulls during that dynasty. And you were a big fan of The Last Dance, the documentary that was on last year. I'm curious to know kind of how formative was it for you as a player and now as a coach, watching those teams, watching Michael Jordan. What did that do for you?
Yeah, I mean, Michael Jordan is, for me, one of the biggest examples in being competitive and do whatever it takes to win. It's like that kind of constantly insatisfaction of willing always more. When you achieve something, he went for the next one and the next one and the next one, and even playing golf, cards, whatever. The guy wants to win, and he's never satisfied. And also pushing his teammates and everything around to get better. And that kind of feeling, it gives me that motivation to Michael Jordan is everything. I love him. And when I was a young kid and I was watching those games where he was just carry the team on his own together with Pippen, with Rodman, that unbelievable Chicago Bulls teams, also with Phil Jackson, which is an incredible motivator. So all that stayed in my head. And with the years, when I became a professional soccer player and now I became a coach, I always use those fundamentals and those principles in my work. So I still remember going with my father and my brother, staying until late, watching those games, watching the playoff, being even sad when Bulls didn't win. Was a great period, and still now MJ is a big example.
Speaking to my heart.
There you go. Hernan, as a player, you started your career with Independiente. You went on to play in South America and then Belgium, of course, like you mentioned, specifically beer shot. You said you felt at home immediately in Antwerp. How are you feeling in DC?
I kind of feeling a lot better than when I arrived.
Okay.
DC is a bigger city than Antwerp. Antwerp is kind of a village comparing with DC, but after 15 years living in that environment, I kind of forget where I was coming from. I'm coming from Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires is also a big city, a lot to do, a lot of traffic noise and that kind of stuff. And I kind of need to get used again. But the more I get to know the city, the more I get to know more people, and I start to make my circle. I start to feel home. And if there is something I love from here, is the weather. The weather is amazing. I mean, so many months of good weather, of sunshine, and that's something that I totally forgot from living in Belgium, where most of the time is gray and rainy, like that London weather. So no, feeling great. I really like the city. I like the people. I went to New York 2 weeks ago for the first time. I went to the US Open, and every time I get a little bit of free time, I really like to discover. But due to the fact that I came new to a new league, I didn't have time. I put all the energy on my work, and sometimes it's necessary to have a break and free your mind. And until a few weeks ago, I didn't have that break. So I kind of feel that I recharge my batteries. I'm ready for the last stretch and the last sprints of games.
We love it. You're so much fun to watch during matches. There's so much energy that you bring on the sidelines. And as you say, you're not that far removed from being a player. But one of the things that's really interesting about your journey is that you knew so early on, even while you were playing, that coaching was going to be the next step for you. Was there a moment where you just kind of said, "Yep, this is what I'm going to do"? And what did that look like? How did you know that coaching was going to be the direction you'd go in?
I always like to motivate people and to push people to the limits. In many teams where I've played, I was the captain. I like to lead with the example. And the moment I started the course, the UEFA courses in Belgium, I was still 32 or 33. And at that moment, I was already preparing myself to be ready whenever I stop my career as a soccer player, to be ready to jump in the coaching world. And the moment I started with the lessons, I knew it. This is my thing. I really want to start being the coach. I started also to realize and to think my last couple of seasons as a player, also as a coach. I was seeing everything differently, starting to make notes from my previous coaches, to learn from everything, from the good, from the bad, from situations. And I don't know, I knew it. Deep inside, I knew I was going to be a coach. I didn't know how successful I was going to be, but I was definitely ready to give it a try. I like to take risk. I'm a guy who loves to take risk. I embrace my players and I encourage my players to take risk because I'm the kind of guy who says, if you never try, you never know. So I don't know. It's deep inside me, and the moment I start with the courses, I knew it. It's gonna happen.
Hernan, before we let you go, I think it's fair to say your name will be in the conversation for the 2021 Coach of the Year. Are you the 2021 Coach of the Year after taking DC United from the bottom of the table last year to where they're sitting right now in 6th place?
Look, that's up to you. That's up to the people from the
I don't
press.
know if it's up to me, but
I'm not busy with that.
Of course.
I have to be honest. It's going very fast for me. In Belgium, after only one season, I was second in Coach of the Year. The first one was the champion, and I was on second place. And of course, that recognition, it gives me a boost. It fulfill my ego. I'm not gonna lie, but the main goal is to bring DC United to back to the spotlight, back where they belong, where they shouldn't be left. And I'm very happy with the progression. You know, everything can change very fast. We are now 6, but in 2 weeks you can be 10 or you can be 4th. So
hey, you could also be second. I don't think anyone's catching New England, but you can be second. You can take that from
I know. The main goal, and it could be a big achievement if we can make the playoff. That would be huge. At the start of the season, I don't know if you remember, but the odds gave us a 13th place or a 12th place. We saw last week the odds to win the MLS Cup. We are not even on that list. So I really love that kind of challenge when you are the kind of underdog and nobody gives a damn dollar for your team, and all of a sudden you're there. And well, we will try to prove people wrong and to be on that playoff spot at the end of the year. And once you are in the playoff, everything is possible. I really believe, thanks to this system, everything is possible, and we will try to make it difficult for everyone.
Yeah, welcome to America. We've got playoffs here.
Welcome to MLS.
First, we need to make it. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, we are so looking forward to watching you guys play the rest of this season. It has been so much fun to watch this DC United team and you. Thank you so much for your time and best of luck, Hernan.
Susanna, one question before we let Hernan go. Hernan, there's a debate going on, and we can blame Sam Legg because we pretty much blame him for everything.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Julian Gressel, he was on the MLS All-Star roster as a forward. Wikipedia has him listed as a midfielder. DC United has him listed on the website as a defender. Sam Legg says he's a defender. What is Julian Gressel for you? Because we want to know.
Julian Gressel delivers.
Time now for a second AT&T 5G call to the field. We've got the big man himself, 2017 MLS Rookie of the Year, 2018 MLS Cup champion, and DC United defender, Julian Gressel. Hey, Julian.
Hey, what's going on?
You like that intro?
Yeah, I love that.
We're gonna
know it
get
was
to
a
you.
defender now, though. That's interesting.
Well, okay, so don't call me out on this.
This is a debate. This was
we
a
were
whole huge
debating
debate.
this prior. Do we say wingback? Do we say midfielder? And you can blame your head of communication, Sam Legg, who told us to call you a defender. Julian, let's talk a little bit about September. It is Kick Childhood Cancer Month at Major League Soccer, a cause that is so important to you. Back in 2019, we were all introduced to a young pediatric cancer fighter named Owen Clemmy when he served as the honorary captain at an Atlanta United match. And you and Casey, your wife, developed a really special bond with him. You took him trick-or-treating. You visited him. Tell us a little bit more about him.
Yeah, I mean, Owen's such an awesome connection that we've got to make, and was such a friend to us. Obviously, he's a very young child, but yeah, it was a connection that I got to make through Atlanta United. I think first he visited the training ground, the training from us, and that's where I met him, and that's where he said that I was one of his favorite players. I think along with a couple other guys, I'm not sure, but I got to speak with his family there, and after that training, I asked for their contact if they would be willing to stay in touch, because I knew that he had to go to the hospital again soon, so I wanted to visit him, and I did, and I still have a picture of him with him in that first hospital visit when we built, I think, a Lego dinosaur together, and just kind of stayed in touch throughout, and then they invited us out for Halloween. To go trick-or-treating with them, and they even provided costumes for us. So they had a whole family costume theme of aliens. They were all aliens, and they just got me and Casey and even Freddie for our dog something that the dad made from scratch for the dog, and me and Casey, we were the sun and the earth. I was the earth that the aliens invaded. So it was our time was great. We stayed in touch. We obviously FaceTimed a lot once I moved up here to DC. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see him after the pandemic started and after I came up here to DC. But again, our connection was great. Owen is such a bright young kid who was a lot of fight in him, and he was so bright. He was so excited about life and about spending time outside, spending time with his brother and with his sister. Going to kindergarten, all the little things, the little stories that he told me it was such a blessing and such a wonderful time to just have with him, to get those stories, and he was so happy about the simple things, and that's kind of what I like to hear. What keeps me grounded, and what just it was so special to me, and something I think about. I think about him almost every day, to be honest with you.
I mean, just hearing you talk about all those incredible memories that you shared with him and the perspective that he gave you, just absolutely tragic that it's a life cut way too short. We lost Owen in July, and between all your memories and when you reflect on your time with Owen, what are your biggest takeaways personally? What are some of the lessons that Owen taught you, and how much did he motivate you to kind of bring more awareness to pediatric cancer? I know you've been wearing his name on your wrist this season, which is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that it didn't just really start with him. I always wanted to kind of be open in the community and use a platform that I've been given through me being a professional athlete, to give back, and I know that there's people out there that don't have it as good as I do, people like Owen, and there's millions of other people. It's not just him, but he was just an easy way for me to really stay connected and have a natural relationship with a boy, that just wants to have fun. It was so simple and so easy to spend time with him, where I feel like I'm an easy guy to get connected with kids, and I love family and all that stuff. And they were so open to welcoming us into their family, and then having us be a part of their family and traditions on Halloween and all that stuff. So it was just super easy for me to do the same. And to hear him say Mr. Julian always, and just kind of asking me questions, talking to me about, like I said, kindergarten, and just those little things showed me how
all the things that, if I have a bad training session, if we have a bad game, if we lose, if I'm tired one day, those little things where I'm like, you know what? No, not today. You're not tired today, because this little boy, he doesn't deserve what he's got, and he has to fight every single day for something that he didn't want. You can fight through being a little bit tired to go to train, to play some soccer, so these are the things that Owen just reminded me of a lot, and still he reminds me of that stuff today. Like, there's moments in games, I almost have in every single game, where I look down, and if it's in the 75th, 80th minute and I'm tired and I don't want to do a sprint, I see it on my wrist. It's literally right there, and I'll be like, yep, here we go, come on. He's with you, and he pushes you, he pushes me. That little boy has a massive impact on my life, and something that doesn't obviously stop doesn't just go on the field, and it doesn't just have an impact on me. I want to contribute that and move forward with that, and make an impact to the next person, and to the next child, or to the next community, or in the next charity event that I can go to, or any other impact that I can have to improve people's lives is obviously a big thing for me going forward as well.
Well, Julian, so well said by you. Perspective. And you mentioned the family. So, we just want to send our thoughts, prayers, and big hugs to Kate, Adrian, and Owen's brother and sister, Henry, and London. And I know you and the rest of DC United will hit the road to Mercedes-Benz Stadium this weekend, taking on Atlanta United. And we're not going to spoil it, but I know that yourself and your former club in Atlanta United have something a little special planned. So we certainly look forward to all of that. So just want to send some love to the Clemmy family. Julian, let's talk a little bit about DC. We had your head coach, Hernan Losada, on. What has he brought, kind of being a younger coach, what has he brought to you as a player?
In general, I think he's kind of revived us a bit after, I want to say, a little lackluster 2020 of with COVID, which was easy to be kind of not in a rhythm, not really fit. And he's kind of revived us and kind of sparked us up again as a whole group and as an organization in general. So he's kept everybody on their toes from the start. He's kept me on my toes, and he's tried to make me a better player, trying to make me a better leader, a guy that obviously plays a lot of minutes. And then I've gone back to that this year, and I'm happy about that. And then certainly I've become a guy again that he knows he can lean on, and expect good performances on a game by game basis.
Love it. It's been quite a year for you. You've become a dad to a beautiful little girl, Sophie. You've got your own podcast, The Soccer Podcast, which is absolutely incredible, with your fellow German countryman Fabian Eber. What else do you have in store? I mean, I feel like on top of playing, you've got all of these other responsibilities and duties. What else is going on in your life right now?
That's pretty much it, to be honest with you. No, I mean, it's fun. That's why we started the podcast. Fabian Herbers, actually, that's how you pronounce it.
Herberts.
No, him and I, we had the idea in the beginning of the year, and we're just like, yeah, why not give it a shot? And it's nice to kind of talk to him about the things that happen around the league, different things that come up, like racial inequalities. Owen's death kind of came up, so we talk different topics and different things, and it's a nice outlet for us to just get talking a bit. And but everything else is just the same. Being a dad is amazing. I absolutely love it every single day. It's a lot of fun. Sophie's such a bright, bright young little girl that keeps us on our toes every day, and she's so smiley and playful, and I love coming home and she gives you a big smile. No matter if you win or lose, it doesn't matter. It's such a nice little thing to have. And I'm excited.
How has Freddie adjusted to being a big brother? most importantly, because
The
Freddie,
dog.
Freddie,
People, I
Freddie,
just want to flag. We were talking about a dog here.
Freddie. Well, Julian and I did an episode of By the Way a few years ago, and Freddie was kind of like the star of the show. Let's be honest. It was about Julian, but Freddie was just a hit with everyone. So I had to, he was kind of the apple of your eye, and then enter this beautiful little girl, Sophie. I just want to know how he is adjusted to not being the only child anymore.
He was jealous. I'm not gonna lie. He was jealous in the beginning. But now, as Sophie just figured out how to use a walker, for example, she's just over 10 months, so she doesn't walk yet, but she's like moving around a bit more. I put her down on the ground more so she can get used to walking a bit and learn how to do it. And now Freddie's like, oh, wow, this is an actual human. Like, she's actually gonna interact and play with me. She takes his toys sometimes away, and then he takes it back. So it's kind of cute. But he's been amazing. No, he's super nice, and he doesn't get jealous in a mean way, but he's just kind of, at night when she's in bed, he comes over, he tries to cuddle a bit more with us and get his love that way. But no, he's awesome.
Well, Julian, thank you for coming on. My favorite German in Major League Soccer, Julian Gressel. Thank you so much for coming on. We apologize that we called you a defender to start the show, but what should we address you as the next time we have you on?
No problem. I don't know. Just whatever you want. I guess defender is fine. If that's what you think I am, then that's what I am.
Just how about Mr. Versatility? How about that?
Oh, yeah.
There you go, Susanna. I love that.
He does it all. All right, time now for a little Here for This. And we've got some great ones today. I'm very excited about this. Now, the other football, NFL, the other football, I know exactly, has started. And if you were watching any of the games this weekend, you might have noticed something a little strange during the Carolina Panthers match. And they have
game, Suze. And then it fell their
Oh my God, you're right. So this is what is going on. Football. My brain is just a mess.
I called the football team over the weekend a side. I was like, what are you saying? Wow, it's a team. You've been on teams your whole life. Shut up. But anyway.
Anywho, I digress. Carolina Panthers. So before the match started, there is this new feature. It's kind of like their new pet. So it is this virtual panther that it looks like it jumps on the field, it jumps into the crowd, it jumps onto the scoreboard, and this thing is straight up terrifying, like absolutely terrifying. It looks like it is going to rip the heads off of every single person sitting in that stadium, and it has these green glowing eyes, and everyone was like, this is so cool, and I'm like, I am scared to death. Like, this thing is way too aggressive for me. And apparently, if you were sitting in the stadium, if you were at the game, there's an app that you can download and you could watch this happen on your screen. So if you're there in real time, it's not a real panther.
Is that what our world's
coming to? It's terrifying. It's terrifying. And then it made me
Is that what our world's coming to?
I think so, Jill. But then it made me think.
I have to download an app to see a 7,000-pound panther hop around.
That now this is is going to be the same home of Charlotte's new MLS team. Okay, Dude. So are they gonna implement this terrifying panther? I feel like they're gonna scare MLS fans away if they do this, because I thought the whole thing was just absolutely horrifying.
Whatever happened to true stadium cats? Why are we creating giant cats? The next generation does not need to download an app or whatever, I don't even know, to watch a fake, giant, psychotic panther. Okay, so over the weekend, Ricardo Pepi and Chris Wondolowski did a casual jersey swap. Very normal, Susanna Collins, but you put this in here for this because for some reason you're mad about it.
No, okay. So like the symbolism of it I love, because obviously it's almost like a passing of the guard, right? Like Wando, the greatest goal scorer in MLS history, and then Ricardo Pepi, who is like on his way to legend status. So like that was cool.
Being the U.S.'s number 9, yeah.
It is. Jersey swaps in general skeeve me out, okay? Because these guys have been sweating their butts off the entire game, and then to like peel it off, and then you hand it over. And then I've actually talked to some players, and they don't necessarily go home and wash these things. Like it grosses me out. I'm a little bit of a germaphobe anyway, but the whole sweaty exchange kind of turns my stomach a little bit, and I really don't enjoy jersey swaps in general for that reason, and that probably makes me a bad sports fan.
Do you want them to still exchange them and then like hold them by the edges with their little fingers? How about
what if there was like a, just like a handshake, and then, after the game when they're freshly laundered, then maybe we can exchange. I just can't. I can't. Game sweat, that thing is going to be sitting in a corner ripe, just festering, and it makes me want to gag.
There's no cameras in the locker room.
It makes me want to gag.
No one would see that. That's what has to happen on the field, or else we wouldn't see it. Something that doesn't gross anybody out is some MLS action at the Met Gala this year. Josie Altidore and Sloane Stephens.
Hello.
Just looking like the sports power couple that they are. Looking good, you two. And then Seattle Sounders part owner, Sierra.
Oh man.
She was there in some rave green. She was in an ensemble that resembles her husband's jersey.
Yeah. I have to say, like, Josie and Sloane looked amazing, but for me that was just like, it was very just kind of like a basic red carpet thing. The Met Gala is where you go crazy. Okay? This is where you can get really nuts, avant-garde, the whole shebang, and I felt like they played it a little safe. Sierra at least kind of went for it and went for the theme, which was sort of this Americana thing, the American icon, and like the football, like I get it. So I feel like she was more in tune with the theme, whereas Josie and Sloane just looked hot. They just looked like they belonged on like a cover of Vogue. Do you know what I mean?
For those of you that didn't see it, yeah, they looked great. For those of you that didn't see it, Sierra was in a lime green cutout dress with sequins. With
rave green, Jill, rave green.
Her husband's Russell Wilson's, obviously his color for the Seahawks. For me, I was just, and I want to preface this with, I love Sierra. Like, I love what a badass she is. I like her music. I follow her on Instagram. Like, I'm a big fan of Sierra. I'm sure there's more to it than my simple mind is absorbing at the moment, but for me, it fell a little flat. Like, you're wearing a sequiny outfit that's your husband's jersey, and then you've got a clutch that's a football ball, and then you've got his ring. Russell Wilson is an American icon, and so are you, Sierra. That's kind of my point, is so are you. So I love it, but for me it was just very like, you're dressing as a sequin version of your husband.
Yeah, so she could have owned the moment a little bit more, is what you're saying. Made it a little bit more about her than the hubs. I get it. I think that's a fair critique. So you're not here for it.
No.
All right.
And it hurts me to say that.
I know.
I want to like it. And I'm just hoping there's maybe something I don't know, like a deeper meaning.
Well, let's get her on the pod and ask her. We'll find out.
What's on tap? Well, last week, MLS announced the Audi 2021 MLS Cup playoff schedule, which kicks off on Saturday, November 20th with round 1, and it includes the league's first Thanksgiving Day match. Ooh. Season comes to a head on Saturday, December 11th with MLS Cup at 3 o'clock Eastern Time on ABC Unimas, TUDN, TSN, and TVS Sports. Remember that the playoffs consist of 12 single elimination matches over 2 weeks. Spicy! And the number 1 seed in each conference gets a first round bye. Here for that. Which teams do you want to watch in the playoffs?
I just said it. DC. Let's get them in there. They're going to be heck of a lot of fun to watch. So heck yeah. I love the playoffs. I'm so excited. That single elimination format is just so tasty. We've got Leagues Cup action coming back. It continues tonight. The Seattle Sounders, y'all, they face Santos Laguna in the semis at 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2 and 2DNA. And I love this because Brian Schmetzer has come out and said that, like, they are looking to go all the way with this. They want more hardware. They want this trophy, and I love it. And as the lone MLS
do it
team
for Sierra.
as the lone MLS team left in this competition. I am keeping fingers and toes crossed for the Seattle Sounders. We also have, I'm so excited because Steph Fry is back in net. He is such an incredible player. I mean, they have done so well in his absence, but you always just feel a little bit better when he is in the net. We know what that guy is capable of. We know that he comes up huge in big moments. And so he's been out since May, and I'm so excited to see him back. But that final is going to be September 22nd in Las Vegas at that crazy stadium that we talked about a few weeks ago. Very exciting. And then the other side of that bracket is going to be determined tomorrow, September 15th. Leon take on Pumas at 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Plus and 2DNA. So Leagues Cup, baby. Get ready.
CONCACAF Champions League also continues tomorrow night as the Union... Jim Curtin and the Union. You know what?
What if he wears the hoodie?
Sweatshirt. I bet he is saving it
if he wears the hoodie?
I bet he's saving it for his Champions League match.
I will die.
Because I was wondering where that went. He has it.
I will
Where's
die.
it, Jim?
I will die. Straight
Anyway.
up. Dead. Deceased.
What was I actually saying? That the Union will be playing Club America in the second leg of the semifinals at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on FS1 Univision and 2DNA. Club America currently leads 2-0, but we know anything can happen in CCL.
Very true. It's an uphill battle, but I believe. All right. As Jill mentioned earlier in the podcast, we're kicking off Hispanic Heritage Month. Clubs across the league are celebrating with various initiatives and activations. DC, they're kicking off Hispanic Heritage Month in stadium tomorrow night with Noche Latina. And those initiatives that are going to be a part of that are donating tickets, transportation to DC scores, students from the Hispanic community, so much more. Head on over to MLSsoccer.com to find out more about how you can get involved with all of your team's celebrations.
Sue's breaking news.
Yeah.
I just got the follow from Hernan Losada.
No!
Yep.
I wonder if I did. I've been following him.
So see, I just started. But
I've been following him.
that was my oversight.
Oh, yes! Hernan! Oh, this is a big day. This is what a win. What a win.
And finally, people, all through the month of September, please keep sharing your messages of hope alongside with the hashtag #KickChildhoodCancer on Twitter. Like we've said, Continental Tire donates $1 for every hashtag. A big thanks to Julian Gressel for continuing to do that work and sharing a little more about Owen Clemmy with us
Incredible
here
story.
today. It really is. That does it for us on the Call Up. We will see all of you next week.
What's up, everybody? It is Susanna Collins and Julian Sakovitz, co-hosts of The Call Up. And if you want more Call Up action, hit like and subscribe right here on YouTube, right there.
And also make sure that you download every episode of The Call Up every single Tuesday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time or anywhere that you get your podcasts. And while you're here, why not check out some of these other videos as well?